Pythagoras, who lived around 570 to 495 BCE, was an ancient Greek philosopher and mathematician. He is best known for his contributions to mathematics, particularly the Pythagorean theorem in geometry. However, Pythagoras' influence extended far beyond mathematics. He founded a philosophical and religious movement known as Pythagoreanism, which blended mathematics, mysticism, and ethics. Key aspects of Pythagoras' life and philosophy included his teachings on mathematics, his philosophical beliefs, and his ethical and mystical teachings. Mathematics and the Pythagorean theorem. Pythagorean theorem. This is Pythagoras' most famous contribution to mathematics. It states that in a right triangle, the square of the length of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the lengths of the other two sides, or a squared plus b squared equals c squared. This theorem is fundamental to geometry and is still widely taught today. Pythagoras also believed that numbers were the underlying principle of the universe, with everything in existence expressible through numerical relationships. This belief made him one of the earliest thinkers to see a mathematical order to nature. Philosophy and Pythagoreanism. Pythagoras founded a philosophical and religious school in Croton, in present-day Italy, that had significant ethical, spiritual, and intellectual dimensions. The school emphasized discipline, communal living, and the study of mathematics, music, and astronomy, harmony, and the music of the spheres. Pythagoras discovered that musical notes could be translated into mathematical ratios. He believed that the universe itself was governed by mathematical harmony, and this led to the concept of the music of the spheres, which suggested that celestial bodies move according to mathematical laws and produce harmonious sounds inaudible to the human ear. Metempsychosis, or reincarnation, was another key teaching of Pythagoras. He taught that the soul was immortal and underwent a cycle of reincarnation, passing into different living beings after death. His ethical teachings were connected to this belief, as how one lived affected their future lives. Ethical and mystical teachings. Pythagoras' teachings went beyond mathematics and science into areas of ethics and mysticism. He and his followers observed strict rules regarding lifestyle, diet, and behavior. Vegetarianism. Pythagoras advocated for a vegetarian diet, likely due to his belief in the transmigration of souls, or metempsychosis. He believed that animals could house human souls, so killing and eating them was morally wrong. Silence and purification. Followers of Pythagoras adhered to strict rules about self-discipline, which included periods of silence, mental purification, and contemplation. The goal was to achieve spiritual purity and harmony with the universe. Pythagoras' belief in the fundamental role of numbers influenced later philosophical and scientific thought, particularly Plato, who incorporated some of Pythagoras' ideas into his own philosophy, especially the concept of the mathematical nature of reality. The mystical aspects of Pythagoreanism also impacted early religious and philosophical traditions, including Neoplatonism and the broader spiritual and metaphysical outlook of Western thought. The Pythagorean school was not just a place of learning, but also a community with rules and rituals. Members followed strict guidelines, such as sharing all possessions, living communally, and following specific dietary and behavioral practices. Women were also allowed to be part of this community, which was unusual for the time. Pythagoras himself is often seen as a semi-mythical figure because many of the stories surrounding his life are a mix of historical fact and legend. His actual contributions are somewhat difficult to pin down, as he wrote no texts himself, and most of what we know comes from later sources, particularly his followers and admirers. Pythagoras' influence persisted long after his death, shaping the development of mathematics, music theory, philosophy, and even early forms of science. His belief in the power of numbers to explain the natural world laid the groundwork for many later scientific discoveries, and his spiritual teachings influenced both ancient and modern thought on the soul and ethics. In summary, Pythagoras was not only a mathematician, but also a mystic, philosopher, and spiritual leader whose ideas bridged the realms of science and metaphysics, and his influence continues to resonate in various disciplines.